All right, so we are back again for another interesting tutorial on this channel. I'm so glad to be with you. This tutorial is a subscriber's request, and I decided to make this video to show you how to create these circles on the neckline on the thumbnail. So right here we are focusing on the front piece of this dress, okay, because we want to show how the circles are created. So right here you can see I have my front bodice pattern already. So if you are new to this channel, please kindly subscribe, turn on your notification bell to receive videos like this all the time. Like this video, share to family and friends, and drop your comments on the comment section as well. So what we have here is a basic bodice, okay? So we have a detailed video on how to make a basic bodice on this channel. So if you want to follow up with this tutorial, please go to the basic bodice tutorial and watch how this is drafted. So this is my center front for this, and this is the chest line. I have my bust point, I have my under bust point, I have my waist line. So these are the required, what we require. All right, so right now this is the shoulder line from which all measurements are taken. So the first thing I want to do here is to create the neckline. I want to create the neckline we are working with first. So to create that neckline, it all depends on what you want, okay? But from the tip of my shoulder here, I'm coming in by 2 inches, and I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches, okay, from my natural neckline. So what I want here, I'll just freehand it to give me exactly what I wanted. Can you see that? So that is the neckline created, and that is the new neckline we are going to work with. So now I want to create this is a bustier. So for all bustiers, the first thing we do is to divide the shoulder seam line. So if you have been following our tutorials lately, you can see you always get the midpoint of your shoulder seam line and connect it right to the, can you see that? Next is to create a bust radius. The difference between the bust point and the under bust is being rotated all around for so many reasons, okay? So it goes all around like this, like that, okay? So now we have determined our bust radius. So the next thing we want to do is to create our princess dart. We are making use of a princess dart for this. So for the princess dart, I'll be taking from the tip of my shoulder, I'm taking what I have on the neckline. So here I have 11 inches. I'll be taking midpoint as 5.5, and I'll come down by 1 inch for a perfect princess dart. So now I'll place my curve ruler. As you can see how I'm placing it, making sure it aligns from the bust point to this line, and extend by 1 inch. So I'm extending by 1 inch to accommodate the curve we have on that line. By the time we sew that, because of this curve, this 1 inch sits right into it as well. So now this is the new armhole line. So next is going to be our center front, our under bust tightening. So from this line, I'm tightening my under bust, taking the tape around my under bust, divide by 4. This is what I have. Whatever thing I have remaining, I share 0.25, and the rest I keep it on this point. So now I'm going to contour my under bust. So you can see how the under bust is contoured. So I'll take it this way and that way. All right, so we are done with the contouring of the under bust. So the business of this tutorial now is focusing on the curves, So first you want, so now you can see we have 5 circles all together on the thumbnail, okay? So the length of this circle, I want to make it at 2.5. So, and I'm inserting 2.5 circles right here. So we have created the neckline, so you can see how the neckline is created. Okay, so at this point we are going to make the circles, but before we make the circles, I want to take the length of my neckline. So what I have right here is 8 inches. Okay, so I'll be writing 8 inches here. That will be the length of the strip we'll be cutting. Okay, the bias will be cutting to tape this after we have sewn it. Okay, all right, so here I went ahead to make little sketches of my circle. So this particular circle, you need to be creative. If you look at the circle, you will see it started all the way from the center front on the thumbnail and ended at the chest line. So now you can see from that neckline to the chest line is 4 inches. I went ahead and got the midpoint of this line, and from the midpoint of this line I measured 1.5 inches. Okay, so I'm going to freehand my circle right now, and I'll bring it back as the first circle. Can you see that? All right, so you can also decide to make it 1 inch. Okay, if you don't want that part to be too open. Now from this line, curved line I made, I start to take 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch, like that. Okay, so I took 3/4 of an inch, I took it this way, and I took it this way. Okay, so I measured from here to here at about 2 3/4, okay, or 3 inches, because what we have is 1.5, so it's actually supposed to be 3 inches. So when you are making it, please ensure you have it at 3 inches. So what we have here, as you can see, should be also equal to this. So it means we are taking the width of this as 0.75, 0.75. So I take it at 0.75 and I curve up to this point. Then also you can see how I made this. So these circles depends on how deep you want them to be. Okay, you can also make it shallower. Okay, that is not reaching up to the chest line. Okay, so now from this point I have this the mid armhole I connected, and from this point which I have my armhole, I came in by 0.5, so I'll be able to have space to attach my sleeve. So I have to curve in. Like I said, your creativity has to guide you. So this is what I have at the circle, but I'm thinking the circle here I have is shorter, so I have it at 2 3/4. So I'll be reducing my circle right now at 3 inches. I just want to reduce it so it's not too much. So I will do this 3.5. Okay, so like I said, you need to be creative at this point. Okay, so we can do like this. So now we are done, and it's time for us to cut what we have right here. So like I earlier said, the focus of this tutorial is to create the circles. Okay, to create the circles. So I'm cutting my neckline. This is the neckline. So remember, the neckline is 8 inches, because when we'll be cutting a strip for taping it, or the bias we are going to use to tape, we'll be measuring 8 inches for it. So this is a princess dart, so I'm going to cut through this part, then I cut on the bust, that as you can see. All right, so this is what you expected to have. So now I'm going to cut off what I have right here to my princess dart line, and then cut off what we have here, and I'm going to close my bust dart. So now what we are going to work on right now is the circles. We are working on the circles. So I'm going to set this part aside. We are going to cut this on fold right now. Okay, so I'll be showing you how to achieve this circle right now. So I'll set this one aside, and then I cut my circles. So you have to cut your circles before you cut your fabric, because we'll be adding seam allowances to this, and of course you'll see how we are going to add the seam allowances. All right, so this is what we have for the circle right now. So remember, this part is going to be on fold. So now I'm going to place my fabric on this. I'm going to add my seam allowances to show you, then we proceed. Right now I've gone ahead to cut out both lining and fabric, adding my necessary seam allowances. Okay, so you can see that everything is cut out the same. Okay, so I added 0.5 inch to stitch this circle, so it returns back to what we have right here. So now I'm taking off my pattern. I'll be taking off my pattern right now. Remember, the neckline tape is 8 inches. Okay, so but first of all, we'll open up what we have. This part is on fold, so I will open it up. Can you see that? This is what we got when we open it up. Then I'll come in with my lining. So I'm going to lay my lining right now. So once I lay my lining right now, I'll make sure I match everything up accordingly, because I'm going to my machine now to sew around, sew around, sew around, and turn it around. Okay, so I'll just pin. So I'll quickly pin and go and stitch. I'll stitch it and I'll bring it back for you to see before we turn around.